Hello and greetings everybody, 'tis Irata, the Furry King of Awesome, and welcome to the Rated Awesome Review Show. We're keeping the awesome Summer Movie Spectacular 2018 alive each and every week. We're on to number 11 with The First Purge. We'll talk about a little bit about the other movies in the franchise as well. We're going to start off first with a spoiler-free area, and then later on in the show we'll get into spoiler territory and we'll tell you all about that. We are semi-fans of the franchise, I should say. First, I'm going to slip in something a little bit more comfortable for Purge attire. Alright, fits the mood a little bit better, I think. So this time, we're going all the way back to the very first Purge, where the new founding fathers are coming up in the country. They got a new president. It's very much like our political climate these days, where we have a tyrant with radical ideas. Sure, they voted for it, and this time they're doing it for experiment. Marissa Tomei is the main architect for this. She is a psychologist who has put this great idea. It's really just a great premise for a movie, not a great idea for what would actually work. Crime being legal only one night of the year, including murder. I mean, that's a very intriguing idea, but will it work? Hell no. There would definitely be other murders and crimes committed throughout the year. Maybe it'd be less, sure, but the way they do it's very heinous and immoral way. It's not really justified. But it makes for good entertainment. You know, this one is more of an action thriller than a horror movie. The original Purge started off kind of like a home invasion thriller slash horror, but mostly action. Then it graduated to Purge Anarchy, which is our favorite of the franchise, definitely. It actually delivered upon the premise, which the first one did not. This one showed the anarchy, what crime would be on the streets, with following several people. And the different viewpoints there, as well as different scenarios. Then we got the third one, Purge Election Year, which was much more about politicians and Elizabeth Mitchell being a senator, running for president. She is very strongly wanting to break up the Purge and abolish it, and of course the government doesn't want that, because a lot of this whole idea of the Purge is very beneficial for the rich fat cats out there, not good for the poor people or the lower class or everyday people. It's just a way to get rid of the riffraff, really, in a legal way, even though it's very evil and mean-spirited. The first Purge shows how this idea was regulated, with the Staten Island being the experiment zone. We really like the new aspects of it. I will give a little bit of a spoiler notice here, but what they actually do is they give $5,000 to people who stay in Staten Island. So yes, you're not required to do like a blood fest, like a gladiator match. No, you are able to leave, pack your family up, get the hell out of town, and then the idiots and the maniacs will kill each other, sure. But if you are poor and you really need the money, $5,000 goes a long ways, and of course you can barricade yourself all you want and hopefully you're okay. But then there are some political conspiracies going on, and we're still in a spoiler-free area, so we will keep it like that. In all the movies we follow one black hero or a Hispanic hero, but this one's pretty much exclusively all, including the best actor of the bunch, and pretty much the protagonist is Elon Newell. You might know him from Insecure, that's already seen him before. Definitely a breakout talent. We can see him being in some other action movies because he's got the body for it, and he's also a pretty good actor. He's a drug lord, and this is the guy we're rooting for. So a little bit of a shady gray area. If you're really keen on only rooting for the good guys, he's kind of an anti-hero, but more of a good guy. And he has an arc, and that's fine. The female protagonist is an unknown named Lex Scott Davis. She does a fine job. She's kind of an activist. A lot of the main people that we follow are all from the same hood. They're all from the same building or community, and so they know each other. And that's how the drug lord Dimitri kind of gets roped in, and also because he's losing all his customers, all his crackheads. There's a little bit of a reach where he cares about this other athlete or something, but the problem with this movie, along with many other things, it's very undeveloped characters. Some of the characters do really stupid things, including the main girl, the activist, and also her brother, who is like a teenager, who is a little bit rebellious and tired of getting picked on or something. LaGuerta from Dexter is also in this for a little bit, but kind of a filler character, doesn't really mean much. Now, for all the other movies, they've been directed and written by James DeMonaco, and in this one, he only wrote it. So a lot of the same concepts he's had obviously comes out, but we're also with a new director this time, pretty much a newcomer named Gerard McMurray, but he is black, so he brings that stamp of approval, so you get the authentic feeler for that. And he also was responsible for some of the more heavy-handed social commentary. I mean, we're fine with the social commentary. It's totally relevant to say that this is not such a far-off idea, especially these days under an angry clown rule. There's many parallels to what's going on. Okay, so they had the clown members on the streets. You kind of reminisce to the terrible Charlottesville riots, which we made a couple of videos on, and started our political activist channel called Outrage for America, which is more on Instagram. Right now, I mentioned we have a new show coming up called Political Party Animals, where myself, your favorite liberal tiger, will be having special guests as well as the King Emperor himself in the animal flesh, yes. So stay tuned for that. There's even a moment where you see would-be cops or people dressed like cops beating up a black guy on a baseball field, like it's American tradition. Some of these things work, some of these don't work. James DeMonaco is not the best writer by far. A lot of his movies struggle with exposition. They have a lot of that going on, and dumb writing, dumb dialogue. And this one is no different. It has a lot of the same. And unfortunately, it's very much a rehash in many ways as Purge Anarchy. But at least it's the best of the purges on. Expands on some of the ideas, and we're glad that there's also a little bit more of a slasher angle here, because they have this guy Skeletor who is hunting them down throughout the movie, and he's pretty much a psychotic guy. It brings a bit of a taste in our mouth of this terrible candy girl from the third one, Purge election year, who wanted the candy bar. She had the Kiss Me mask. Really hated that character. It was so over the top and forced and just fake and just badly acted.
And I want my candy bar. And I'm gonna take it. You don't got the balls to stop me. I'll take some candy. I'll take whatever the fuck I want. And here comes your candy girl.
But this guy here, who plays Skeletor, actually did a pretty good job. We believe him as a psychopathic killer, and so it worked that way. So all said and done, this is a decent part of the franchise. This will be the last of the movies, we believe. They're actually doing the Purge TV show, debuting September 4th on USA Network. We really hope there's a lot more development of characters and characters we care about, and through lines, and following different characters, not just one or one group, because it's a great concept that can really work well, and James DeMonaco is also writing some episodes of that. Hopefully that's going to be a good show. If you're a fan of the other ones in the franchise, go ahead and see this one, The First Purge. The incentivizing the murderer, that makes more sense. Not just $5,000 for staying, but also more for killing or raping or maiming. Although none of that really ever happens, it's always just killing. Never grand larceny or grand theft auto or robbing banks or money laundering or assassination plots. Nothing really of that. It's always just straight up murder. It's surface level. It's kind of lower common denominator. It's not as smart as it thinks it is or could be, and that's unfortunate. So that being said, it's some cool action scenes, some definitely die-hard moments from Elon Noel kicking ass and taking names with some good hand-to-hand fighting as well as gunplay. Now we're going to rate this 3.5 stars. Rated enjoyable. I'm going to take this mask off for a sign-off. Alright everybody, thank you so much for joining us on another exciting Rate Awesome review show. Join us next time, we'll have other guests, other animal critics. Check with us every week for new reviews. We go in depth with spoiler-free and spoiler territory videos of all the awesome Summer Movie Spectacular 2018. Follow us all over social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook very often. We do movie fixes every week, recommending what movies you should see in the theaters, like this one. Leave us some comments, let me know what you thought about the movie or what you think about this review. Now, go forth and be awesome!